What's happening, my epic dudes? Welcome back to the Triple Lock channel. I hope you've all been doing as epic as possible. Let's try to feel some of that power, shall we? So I'd give a big shout out to Harley Davidson in Norwich. Big thank you for loaning me this Harley Davidson Sport Glide. And my scraping pig kit. And this is actually the first ever Harley I've ever ridden. What a beautiful machine. Now I don't know much about Harleys, but I am slowly learning. So I believe, don't shoot me down, but it's the 107 Milwaukee 8. A whole lot of grunt and a whole lot of horsepower. Let's get on it. Now, like I've said, this is actually the first ever Harley Davidson I've ever rode. So I asked a few of the lads over at Harley in Norwich what one they believe would be a great first Harley to take out, and they recommended the Sport Glide. They said it's fairly light as far as Harley Davidsons go anyways, you know, sort of lightest out of the bunch, and given that I've never tried this style of riding before, even though I'm not quite in the right attire for it, I had to do it. I had to feed that curiosity. I mean, my first impressions, not of necessarily just the bike in general, but Harley Davidsons in general. You can feel it's solid, like it's a very solid bike. It's very comfortable, as you'd expect from a cruiser. Let's try to feel some of that power, shall we? Very impressive notes coming out of it, even for a stock exhaust. I mean, don't go wrong, ramp it up with a way more open system and this thing sounds unbelievable. But I don't need to tell you guys that, everybody knows what Harley sounds like, especially before the Euro 5 came into play. I've got to admit, I never thought I'd ever ride a Harley, want to ride a Harley. You know, it's not being a knob, it's just, you know, I've been in sport bikes my whole life. Wonderful, nearly scraped with a peg there. I've been in sport bikes my whole life, and that's what I'd always dreamed on being on. So I always sort of just shunned Harley Davidson and any sort of cruiser, bagger type and whatever. I always just sort of put it to the side. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. Yes, they have their own culture and, you know, there is stories behind it, but nobody can tell you really that they aren't a cool machine. And they are powerful. They are very powerful. They got tons and tons of grunt, and I'm not even trying the one with the biggest amount of torque. I think it's like the baby of the bunch. I will be wanting to try a few more, and I suppose the other thing that sort of raised a sort of question was, am I too small for the bike? Well, I figured out I'm not. It's really comfortable, and much to my wife's dismay, I think I'm quite sold. I maybe wouldn't mind one. Who knows, you might see a Harley on this channel one day. Don't think it'll be anytime soon. Still got more fun to get out of the GS, and because that's still an incredible bike, and I have to admit that torque is very addictive. What I can't get over the most is just how easy this bike is to ride. You know, I sort of built up an expectation in my head of what they would be like to ride before I'd even got on it, which didn't make me not want to ride one. But it was just more like, oh yeah, I wonder if it's going to be heavy, I wonder if it's going to not go around the bend, just all these little things. And no, I got a bit, that's so wrong. It's super easy to ride. And it does put a grin on your face. Super easy, super well balanced, enough pull and grunt to get you moving when you need it. I was wrong, folks, and I would put my money on it to say many of you who usually shun Harley Davidson are also wrong too. No offense, guys, if I could be wrong, so could you too. It is what it is. We can't always be right about everything, and sometimes we do cast a judgment on things when we don't really have the knowledge. And I'll admit, Harley Davidson was not something I had explored before. So eat a slice of humble pie and just admit that we didn't quite get this one right, and these are actually a pretty cool machine. Am I scraping pig yet? No. So yeah, guys, if you haven't actually had a chance yet to get out on a Harley Davidson, I mean, this one, this Sports Glide, is actually A2 compliant as well. So if you're on a restricted license, you can ride one of these, and they are awesome. I think at some point I want to try the Street Bob, the Street Glide, and a Lowrider S if Harley Davidson Norwich get one in stock, because that would be more the direction I'll be leaning towards if I was to buy one. I mean, the Street Bob looks fun, but it's the 8 hanger bars, and there's no way of any sort of fairing how modifiable a Street Bob is for putting a screen and everything. I don't know. But this is a new learning curve for me. This is something I've never known about. Right, it's easily flickable. I'm sold. They're awesome. What a cool machine. I take back everything I've ever said in the past. And if you, like me, was a naysayer, go and try one. They're actually a lot of fun. And you kind of feel like a boss riding one. I mean, not in what I'm wearing. I mean, I'm in my usual textile gear for my GS, but you get what I mean. If you look the part, it could work. Left and right indicators on each hand. That's quite a different concept for sure. Alright my dudes, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope it sort of made you, I hope it's sort of given you some way of making up your mind of whether or not you like a Harley Davidson. I personally think they're cool, but don't just take my word for it, try it yourself. And if you've tried one before, or you ride one, and anything you think I could know or learn about, drop it in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out my dudes.